Automatic scan. The small blue lights on the button will be activated when the auto button on the main body is pressed, or when the automatic scan icon is pressed on the application. At the same time, a window will open on the application where pre-scan settings should be adjusted. On the opened window, signal pulse count, search row count, scan direction, and starting point information should be entered according to the size of the search area. Signal pulse count. Enter the number of signal measurements that will be taken for each row in the signal pulse count.
You may decrease the value with the minus icon and increase it with the plus icon.
Each signal should have 30 centimeter intervals between them. If 10 signal pulse count is selected, you'll have created a search line of 300 centimeters, in other words, 3 meters. Entered signal pulse count will be valid for each searched line. Search row count. Search row count, you should enter the scan row count in this field, according to the size of the scanned area. Each row should have 30 intervals between them. If 10 rows count is selected, you'll have created a search line of 300 centimeters, in other words, 3 meters. Depending on the signal pulse count entered, you should move to the next search row when the signal pulse count is completed. Scan direction. You should start the scan from your starting point, as seen on the graphics, and finish on the ending point. You may perform zigzag or parallel searches. When each signal pulse count entered for each row is completed, you should move to the next scan row. Direction of the measurement device should not be termed scan starting point. You may set your scan starting point by starting from the lower right or lower left corner. For this, you should select left or right from the starting point. If you start your search from the lower left corner, you should continue by setting the next scan row to your right. If your selection is from the lower right corner, you should continue by setting the next scan row to your left. After completing all pre-search settings, you should press the OK button on the application or the Start button placed on the back of the device. Automatic data transfer will start. Each signal sound and each square formed on the graphic equals to 1 signal pulse count. Between each signal pulse, you should advance 30 centimeters and move to the next step. For example, if you've entered the signal pulse count as 10, you should advance forward 10 signal steps for each row. When the signal pulse count you've entered in the pre-search settings is completed, application will stop the data transfer and will wait for you to move to the starting point of the other row and press the Start button on the front face of the device. If you press the Start button, data transfer will continue. You must repeat this action each time a row is completed. In automatic scan, you must complete the signal pulse count and search row. When the search row entered depending on the signal pulse count is completed, the device will automatically exit the search function, and in the application, a window will open asking you whether you want to save the data collected. If you select no, data collected will not be saved and be lost when you move to the next search or when you close the application. Don't forget, you must save in order to prevent your data from getting deleted or lost. You must select yes in order to save the data collected. Following this step, you must enter an appropriate name or note for your work in the window opened. You may examine each saved data by opening them on the application. If you press the cancel button after or without saving, you may continue examining the graphic on the screen. If you want to finish searching before the entered search row is completed, you must press Back button placed on the device. When you press the button, Data Save dialog will appear on the application. You should select Yes to save the collected data or No to exit without saving.